What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 26 of the Assets Over Money podcast with your hosts, Rich Hansen and KD, Kevin Dixon. Kev, what's
What
going on?
up? What up, brother? Hey, man, just living the dream, man. Can't complain at all, bro.
Yeah. Was that
How
a
about
hammock?
you? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Why not?
Nice. You chilling?
Yeah, man. Out here on the patio. You know what I'm saying?
Was you
Just
down in Charlotte or are you somewhere else?
no, I'm in Charlotte, yo.
Okay. Yeah, we on vacation, man. We went down to Myrtle Beach, bro, for the week.
Yeah.
Back down to Myrtle, man.
That's what's up, man. Y'all with the baby? Y'all by yourself?
Yeah, you got the baby, bro. Yeah, they're out. The family's out there. We got um, we got like a timeshare or whatever. It allows us to go like pretty much all over. Um, So we came down to Myrtle, stayed in one of the spots, man. It's really beautiful. Yeah, it's dope. It's been cool. I like South Carolina. South Carolina is a state in general is a really good state, man.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, y'all right there by the water?
Yeah, we right on the water. We was at the
Oh,
beach the last 2 days. Yeah, we've been here since last Saturday, and we leave Saturday morning, going into the long weekend or whatever. But we should
yeah.
avoid the traffic. We leaving on Saturday.
That's dope, man. Y'all drove?
Yeah, drove from New York, brother. But we stopped. We chunked it up though. So, but
Yeah.
pretty dang good, man.
Hey, y'all some good people, yo. Y'all some good folks. Driving like that.
I like to drive, man.
Young,
I like to drive.
young legs, boy.
I like to
Some
drive.
young legs, boy.
Yeah, 95, bro.
Do
95
you,
South all the way. It's dope.
hey, your wife drive or you do all the driving?
I do most of the driving, and I mean, honestly, she got a hard job too, though, because the kid in the back, so she with the kid, with the baby. So
Oh
you
yeah,
could
it's a
argue,
job either way, yo.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's an argument to be made which one's harder than the other.
hey, I'm driving too, bro. So I ain't
Yeah,
I ain't mad at you.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
not
driving.
mad at you, bro.
Yeah. But
That's what's
anywho,
up,
bro.
man.
Yeah, but anywho, I guess we'll go ahead and get ready to jump in, man. I mean, for the folks out there listening, we got a pretty good topic tonight. I think we may have talked about it in the past, but I mean, these are one of these things, one of these lessons that I believe are timeless, and you never can hear it enough. So we're kind of diving into what we would call
Yeah, man.
financial IQs that we think folks need to understand. If you want to build wealth, you want to
Yep.
keep wealth, it's really all about shifting your mindset. So some of the things we'll cover tonight, just to kind of run a
Yeah.
quick five. Number one, focus on making more money without trading more time. Number two, think about ways to protect your money from taxes, inflations, and poor decisions. Number three, why budgeting isn't restrictive, it's strategic. Number four, think about ways to leverage your money to actually scale and grow faster. And then number five, why improving your financial information is the key to long-term wealth. So I guess jumping right into the first one, focus on making more money without trading more time. Katie, you want to kick us off with that one, bro?
Yeah, man, no doubt. I mean, I think, one of the this is I think would be the top one, right? So making more money. I mean, however it is, without exchanging it for time. We always talk about the rich dad, poor dad book, you know what I mean? And we always talk about how the rich don't work for money. And when I first read that, I always was just kind of baffled, like, well, what do they work for, right? Um, Time is our biggest asset, right? So like you want to do everything that's going to free up your time. And if you're not focused on that strategically, being intentional, you'll be working for someone your whole life, right? I mean, because one thing about us, our culture and where we come from, we learned how to leverage only our bodies and our time, right? Being at someone else's job and someone else's cubicle and getting that paycheck. So you got to kind of focus on, understanding how to make money without leveraging your time and your body, right? So, that's why we do real estate, right? We want to be able to have real estate work for us and bring us cash flow every single month. We don't want to have to be there for it to come in. We want to make money in our sleep, right? So, understanding how to make more money. I mean, because you can always get a better job, right? You can always get a better job. You can always make more salary. You can always go back to college and get another degree and all that good stuff. But when you're ready to quit doing that, then what, right? So we're kind of planning from the end to the beginning, right? So it's like we're reverse engineering our process. And like I said, I didn't learn this to, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but it was like a light bulb moment, right? So we want to be able to focus on exactly what we need per month to live the way we want to live, whether that's 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 100,000 a month, however you want to live when you want to retire. I mean, you want to reverse engineer that, because here's the thing. We always talk about the guy who retired and worked at his job for 40 years and they gave him a banquet. And like, I mean, that's all he got. They didn't give his family nothing. I don't even think he got a gold watch. They might have gave him a certificate or something. You know what I mean? But that's not going to help him. So like, we want to be able to plan this and be strategic with, exactly how much we need, because even with 401k, right? 401k to me, is kind of a joke, man, because, it's based on the stock market. And so what if you're 65, 70 years old and you're about ready to retire and we go through a recession and it wipes out your 401k? Then what, right? You're going to have to continue working. You're going to be working at Walmart, greeting people to come in. And it's a reason why those older folks in Walmart look so disgruntled, right? Because they don't want to be there, right? I mean, let's be honest about it. I don't want to be 75 years old and have to stand in front of Walmart greeting people. So we have to focus on making more money, but understanding how to make more money. It's not about the money. It's about the assets producing income that we need to focus on, right? So making more money is definitely good, right? There's nothing wrong with, getting a better job and having a higher salary. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't understand how to make that money work for you, then it's kind of like it's working against you, because the dollar bill is, the value of it is like in the dumps right now. So if you're not focused on creating cash flow and assets, then you're getting left behind.
Yeah, I think you said a lot of good things there, man. What you kind of said summed up a lot of things, and the way it kind of breaks down in my head when I look at making more money without trading more time is like, we've always been, well, not always been taught. We've always been taught, go to school, get a good job. When as we start to get older, we start to see that that's not necessarily the case for some folks. We all know people we graduate with from like high school or college that are out doing their own thing, making good money, seem like they're living their life. And it's not that, it always comes down, it's not that these folks are smarter than us. They just learned how to think differently, right? So income, it has two main paths to think about. You have your active income, which is more so you trading more time, sacrificing your time for money. And then you have passive income, which is you know, scaling value. Passive income, essentially you're making money while you're sleeping, making money without necessarily working. Now, I think a common misconception with a lot of people, as soon as they think about passive income, is you don't have to do anything to get it. You know what I mean? You don't have to do anything to make passive income. I think in reality,
Right.
a passive income business or creating a lot of different assets that create passive income, it is very much so active in the beginning, and is very much so active until you start to build systems that build teams where those folks are actually working for you, or you have that system working for you to where you can actually get paid, or putting things in place. We always talk about real estate, but real estate, perfect example is finding a house to buy. Some people argue it's not challenging, but it is a challenge. If you've never done it before, you going out and trying to source a house, find money, whatever that is, to buy that house to produce passive income, it's very active. Once you find that house, and let's say you buy it, then you got to find somebody to renovate it, unless you want to do it yourself, right? Active getting it, still doing that. Once it's completely, built up, and now you're renting it out. A lot of people say, okay, I can rent it. I can be the manager myself. Being a manager of a house is no fun, because something always breaks. Something's always going to break, right? So a system or something, a person to put into place there is a property manager. You have a property manager, now they're managing the house for you, so you don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. Obviously, if something breaks, you still got to pay for it, but you're not necessarily worried about the day-to-day, finding the tenant, sourcing the tenant, things like that. And now you have one, just one example of the avenue of creating passive income. So
Yeah, man.
that's
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, and you gotta know that, man. I mean, like we get so prone to just thinking about our job and thinking about making more money at our job, but the more money we make, the more taxes we get hit with. So understanding the three types of income, whether it's your earned income, with your job, whether it's portfolio income, if you go out here and flip a stock, or you flip a house and you get that money, or you got passive, right? So I mean, you want to be at that passive place where you don't have to be there to make money. One thing that I learned was, being a realtor and a broker, starting my career, I thought I owned my own business, right? But then I kind of had to get brought to the real world, and what I did was create a job for myself, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, but we don't want to create jobs for ourselves. We want to create passive income streams with assets. And if you understand that, then it's not about your FICO score. It's about your financial statement and your cash flow statement.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to be able to do, along with your income statement. Those are the three statements that you want: your income statement, your statement of cash flow, and and your financial statement, which is your balance sheet, your profit and loss statement, right? Banks are okay with seeing your FICO score, but if they see your balance sheet with assets that's cash flowing, I mean, your borrowing power goes up. So you want to be strategic on how you make your money work, because some folks out here, I mean, you got some doctors out here living check to check, right? I mean, they might be making 600,000, but really in reality they're making like 300,000 because they're getting taxed almost 50%, right?
Yeah.
And so they could be living check to check if they're not understanding how to make their money work for them. So understanding how to make more money is just, it's imperative.
Yeah. No, and I think one thing to add to that before we go to the next topic is like, I know, at least for me, man, in the beginning when I was, shoot, I'd say I've always been like more like entrepreneurial spirited ever since I was like a little kid, trying to sell candy or whatever, what have you. As you start to get older, like you start to think, man, like how can I do it? I see this everybody else doing or whatnot, and they're making it. A question somebody told me, one of my mentors told me a long time ago, is really think about is what skills or assets do you have that can earn income without you having to clock in or check in. An example of
Right.
that would be you have a lot of people in college, or shoot, even a lot of people in our community, bro. Let's break it down like that. Like a lot of black women who go out and be hairstylists, right? Is I want to be a hairstylist. I forgot what the name of it, what the proper name for it. I'm just gonna call
A
it hairstyle.
beautician, a beautician.
There's one that goes. It's even deeper, bro. It's another name. But excuse me on that. But as opposed to saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna start doing hair and making money," right? That's again, just like Kevin was saying, you just created a job for yourself. So when you're not working, when you're sick and you don't have clients, no money's coming in. A mindset shift to that would be, okay, as opposed to me just doing hair, why don't I find multiple people that I know can do hair and I create my own hair company or what have you, or my own beauty shop or my own salon. And it doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a business or whatnot. You can operate it. Shoot, a lot of black women I know are operating their beauty salon or their beauty business right outside their house or their garage or their family room. So you got a couple
That's it.
people that are renting out, a room in your house or whatever to do hair, and they're paying you, money monthly or something like that, right? So it's just all about like a mindset shift. So everybody has skills. Everybody has a skill set. Everybody has talents. It's really framing it. How can I, not only make money off my talent, but how could I create money off my talent where I'm not necessarily having to clock in every day and do manual labor. So
That's
just
it.
that before we switch over to the next topic, which Kevin, I want you to head this one off as well too. But it's really protect your money from taxes, inflations, and poor decisions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I mean, like, here's the thing. We always talk about this, right? So, piggybacking off what we just talked about, that beautician that has created her own job, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But ultimately, you want to be able to walk away and live the way you want to live, regardless of what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world, and you want to be able to live the way you want to live, travel if you want to travel. I mean, whatever. But you have to be able to understand that it's not about how much you make; it's about how much you keep, right?
Ooh,
And how much you protect. And so with the way the tax code is in America, the more money you make with a paycheck, the higher your taxes go, right? So if you're out there and you're a salaried employee, I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, I'm not mad at a paycheck, but I don't want a paycheck, right? I always learned that profits are better than wages. And so you want to be able to maximize your money, but at the same time, you want to lower your tax liability, right? And see, it's this thing in America, whereas people make it seem like, oh, it's patriotic to pay taxes. I mean, who says that? Who does that? It is not patriotic to pay taxes. It's just, we were
bro, literally,
what?
bro. Our founding fathers literally, like, we talk about the founding
Yeah,
fathers of America, bro. The Boston Tea Party
the Boston Tea Party.
were crazy for paying taxes, bro. They threw a whole riot, started shooting, killing people. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
taxes, because of high
right.
taxes. We talking about as
It,
patriotic. It blows
it,
my
it,
mind. Yeah,
exactly. But people think that that's honorable to have to pay taxes. I mean, I don't want to have to pay taxes if I don't want to, right? And see, the thing about it is, you don't have to if you understand our tax code and understand how assets work, right? I mean, because the reason why I love real estate, especially with multifamily and commercial real estate now, is because it's a big tax write-off. And the thing about it, this is blows my mind even more. I'm not a big Trump supporter, right? I'm not at all. But at the end of the day, the big beautiful bill that he just created, I don't know if you know this, man, but like he just opened the door up for tax deductions for real estate. And like I'm not supporting, pulling people off of Medicaid or Medicare or anything of the other things that the bill calls for. But the one thing that I know that Trump is going to do is make it easy for himself and easy for his homies. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all real estate guys, right? And so they don't pay a lot of taxes. Robert Kiyosaki, he don't pay no taxes. You serious? The dude owns over 6,000 units. He's not paying taxes on that, bro, because the tax deductions. I mean, it goes that bill that just passed, man. You got to look into it. I'll send you a video on it. But
yeah,
like,
please, I'll check it out.
bruh, it if you own real estate and it cash flows, you're not gonna have to pay much taxes. So for the folks out there that are, having high tax liabilities, and you may be making great money, but you're paying a boatload in taxes, you might need to, think about putting your money into some real estate and some cash flowing assets because Trump just opened the door for to not pay any taxes with real estate. I mean, like literally. And it blows my mind when people, think that they want to pay taxes and that it's honorable and it's patriotic and I'm proud to pay these. Nah, I don't want to have to pay that because the tax code is based on if you're getting a paycheck, you're getting taxed, right? So
Yeah,
the tax code kind of incentivizes investors like us who go
mhm,
out and we create jobs, right? So you think about if we go out and buy an apartment building. We're hiring the property manager. We're hiring the maintenance workers. We're hiring the upkeep. All of that, all the people that we're hiring to maintain this building. That's giving us tax incentives, and that lowers our tax liability. I mean, like 100-fold, yo. It's crazy how it works.
yeah.
And I'm not a CPA, so go talk to your
I hit up
CPA.
Laird.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the bill that he just passed, the big beautiful bill, it it's made for us, man, for real estate investors. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not supporting, pulling people off of Medicare and Medicaid and all that stuff. That's crazy. I hate that. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to take advantages of these incentives while he's in office because more than likely they're going to get changed when he leaves. But right now, he just opened the floodgates for us on the real estate side. And if they lower interest rates, it's going to get even crazier. Trust me on that. I mean, because inflation is stupid. If they lower the interest rates, inflation is going to go out of this world. So just get ready for that. But I'm gonna send you that video on that
Please,
big
bro.
beautiful bill, bro.
Video.
It opens the door for us, man. So if your tax liability is high, come talk to me and Rich and let's talk about how we can get you into some real estate.
Yeah. Also, I know a great CPA, my boy Larry Dixon. He on here. I forgot what episode, but I can hit him up. I can. If y'all need a good CPA, let me know. I got a guy for you. Like, dude is.
Yes, man. I mean it's I haven't seen anything like it, man. I mean, like I said, I have to keep saying this, but I'm not a Trump fan. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that he put the real estate piece in there for taxes because I don't want to pay taxes if I don't have to, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna milk the system just like he does.
Yeah. You know what's crazy too, man, is like a lot of like years ago I got real curious because I remember hearing this again back in like, high school, college, or like, seeing these articles. Jeff Bezos doesn't pay taxes, Elon Musk not paying, all these rich people not paying taxes. I'm like, how does all this work? Like, how do they get, paid if they're writing it off, yada yada yada. So I started looking into all of this stuff, man. And one of the things I found is like how a lot of these folks pay themselves. Once you have so much, so many assets and your net worth is skyrocketed. Banks see that, and a lot of these people, man, that what they're doing is they're taking out like loans, right? Avoiding taking out loans to pay themselves, which is
Debt,
which is insane.
tax-free debt, tax-free
Which
debt.
is which is crazy. When you look at it, you're like, oh well, you got to pay the loan back. But it's like if you look at the numbers and what they're saving, the money they're saving in taxes, it is ridiculous. Like just how people think, man. And the crazy thing about this is all free knowledge. This is all public knowledge. Anybody could do it. Literally anybody could do it. You just have to be educated on it. And like I'm not gonna say I'm a tax genius and whatnot, but I know some. I ain't got to be a genius. If I know somebody who is a genius on it, you know what I mean. That's the next best thing.
Hey, we gonna hire Larry, yo.
Hire my boy Larry. Larry know everything about taxes.
Cost segregation and bonus depreciation is how we save on taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bonus depreciation and cost segregation. Those are the two, terms that you want to understand to protect your money. Because like I said, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And see, someone like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they're big business investors, right? And so they can go out here and borrow, 500 million if they need to and buy more real estate. That's the same thing Robert Kiyosaki did in 2007, right? Because when the market was going down, there was so much opportunity out there. The way his portfolio is right now, bro, he went out and borrowed, I think he said like $300 million. Now think about that. He has $1 billion in debt. Think about that, $1 billion in debt. But what it does, it brings him cash flow every single month. And so, yeah, he doesn't have to pay taxes because he's winning off of the debt. So like we talked about last time, with what was my man name? Financial Peace University, you know what I'm saying, that wants you to get out of debt. I mean, that's okay for some people who wants just an average life, right? But if you want above average and you want to, you want a little something in your life, you have to be able to leverage debt to get rich and to get wealthy. I mean, there's no way around that. You know what I mean? And you got to realize that there's good debt and there's bad debt. The good debt is going to put money in your pocket every month, where the bad debt is going to take money out of your pocket. So you got to learn how to protect your money, understand the tax codes, understand what's going on in America right now, because like this is a prime opportunity to cash in. I'm telling you, like it's a prime opportunity to cash in. And so we have to spread this word, and we gotta do it on, do it ourselves as well.
Yeah. Nah, bro. I think you hit that right on the head. And I ain't got nothing much to add on there. So really moving into number 3, why budgeting isn't restrictive, it's strategic. And I'll jump into this one, brother. So as far as I love budgeting, man. I love the concept of saving money. And it really, bro, is rooted in me at a very young age, from my grandparents. Like even now, today, I call my grandma on the phone and she knows, some of the things I'm doing in real estate, and she knows, some of the stuff I'm doing. But she always says, Clay, the middle name is Clay. She says, Clay, make sure that the first thing you do is you're saving your money, you're paying yourself. First thing you do is you pay yourself, right? Like as in like my savings. So putting the stuff in my savings and this, that, and the third. She'll give me the same, I don't want to call it not a lecture, but the same lessons that she taught me at a young age. And those have always stuck with me, man. So budgeting is just it's not about, budgeting it's about control, not limitation, right? So if you control your money, you can direct your money where it goes. And I know that it sounds simple, but it truly is. I will say, when you're talking about Dave Ramsey. So I do not agree with 99.9% of the things that Dave Ramsey talks about, but there is one thing that I do agree with, and I think it is freaking genius. It's called a zero-based budget. You may have heard of that, Kevin, but what a zero-based budget is essentially if you get paid $10, let's just say you get paid, on a made up numbers, right? Let's just say your salary for the month is $10. Every dollar in there in that $10 has a home before you even get paid. Meaning, as soon as you get paid that $10, 5 goes to groceries, 2 goes to savings, and then the other 3, let's just say, goes to your car payments. It always has a home, and the thought behind it is you're telling your money what to do as opposed to your money telling you what to do. Because what majority of Americans do, what majority of Americans do is they get paid, and then they say, okay, I got paid. This is how I need to spend my money. This is what I need to do. And then they have money left over and they go kind of blow it, right? as opposed to, I know what my, I'm going into the weeds a little bit. I'm gonna shut up here in a second. But as opposed to, what you should be doing is looking at your fixed versus your variable expenses. Your fixed expenses are your expenses that don't change. It's something super simple. Super simple breaking down your budget, break it down into fixed and the variable as far as your expenses go. Your fixed expenses, they don't change. Those are like your car bill, your phone bill, your light bill generally, things of that nature. They do not change. Variable are things that change, such as, your groceries. You may have to get an oil change every few months, or the new tires, or things that change on a monthly basis, right? Those are your variable expenses. So you're able to break those down and forecast what they are. So that way you know how much money you can be putting away, for savings, how much money you think you're going to have extra and what you can do with it. Put it towards your business, put it towards your hobbies that you think can create you more money and income, things of that nature, bro. Yeah. But that's just my 2 cents. You know what? I don't know much, but I know a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's smart though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a book out there called The Richest Man in Babylon. We, I don't know if you read that or not, but like
Of course, brother. Come on now.
yeah, I mean that's one of my favorites, right? So, making your money work for you. Every penny has a job, right? And we want to put them to work. And so, like, we come from a place where it wasn't much budgeting. You know what I'm saying? Not where I'm from. It was just, you get your money, you spend it, and then you try to save whatever's left over. And it's not much strategic. It's not strategic. It's not intentional. It's just you spending your money. As soon as the check comes in, you got pay this, and whatever's left over, you just have to deal with, right? And so, making being intentional about making your money work for you is vital to growing wealth, and to doing the things you want to do in life. Because if you're not being intentional with it, then that means you're just blowing it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Let's
crazy
keep
too
it going.
nowadays. Like, bro, nowadays budgeting is so, it is almost thankless the way you can do it. There's apps like Mint.com, I believe. Intuit. Intuit, the same site where you can do like TurboTax. They also have a wing for
Yeah.
like budgeting. You connect your
Yeah.
credit card to it, and literally you go online and you set your budget on what you want it to be monthly, and you connect your credit card, your bank accounts, and it literally will send you, like, as you start to get closer, like, hey, you spent 40 of the $50 you allocated towards eating out this month, and you're 2 weeks into the month. It like tracks your budget for you. So each month, it just makes it thankless. There's really no excuse for people not being able to budget. And if you're somebody that's not great for technology, or somebody who wants to kind of see stuff, see what you do in real time,
Go ahead.
is you jump into like spreadsheets and things of that nature. Oh, we got a visitor.
Rich, say hey to this little girl.
Hello, hello. How are you?
He said, hey. All right, go back in there. Go. Go. What?
Just tell him that I said hi too.
Okay, she said hi too.
And also tell him that he will also look just like you.
Well, just because we're brown, don't. She says you look just like me.
Hey, that may be a good thing. Lucky you. See ya.
Close that door, please. Thank you.
Can I have some ice cream?
No,
Why?
no.
Can I at least have one?
Wait till I get done, okay? Thank
Can
you.
I at least have a snack?
Go. You can get a snack. Go ahead.
Okay.
Close that door. Hey, boy. Wait till that boy grow up, man. Wait till he get a little.
Yeah.
It never stops, man. But yeah. What were we talking about?
Nah, just controlling stuff, man. It comes down to like how simple budgeting is nowadays, right? So we
Oh
talked
yeah,
about some
for sure.
that you can utilize to automate the budgeting process for yourself by just linking your
Yeah.
bank account, your credit cards, and things like that. Or you keep it simple. There's 1,000 spreadsheets that you can find, right?
Yeah.
Really go on Google and type in budgeting spreadsheet, or you can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to create a zero-based budget. Here's the breakdown of how much I get paid and how much roughly I'm spending in these areas. Could you help me break down a budget? And it literally have AI do it for you.
Oh, no doubt. No
yeah.
doubt.
In the end of the day, bro, like budgeting, it's a game plan. It's not like a cage, right? Like a lot of people say about budget, your penny pinching and whatnot, which in my head I think is honestly better to penny pinch than just overindulge in the areas.
But you know where your money's going though, right?
Exactly.
And see, that's what we want. We don't want to be, just blindly spending money and then come, end of the month and you don't know where all the money went, right?
Yeah.
I got a simple system, you know what I'm saying? I got 6 accounts. And one is based off, you get your check, it's 100%. Say if it's $100, 50 of it goes to expenses. which is 50%. And then it's 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10, right? Whether I'm paying my tithes for church, my long-term savings, my investments, you know what I'm saying? Because I have an account for investing, that just grows, for learning, so if we go to a seminar in Las Vegas or something, I have an account for that. You know what I mean? So I have a blow account, which is, account that I just blow money with every month, because you're going to spend a little bit, you're going to splurge a little bit on yourself.
Oh
But
yeah,
the blow account is for that. It's designed for that, right? So just knowing exactly where your money's going and how you're making it work is important, man. It's so imperative for us to understand that as Black folks, man.
yeah, and bro, it's a good feeling to have like the blow account. Like for instance, we got a like a vacation fund. That's the money we're using down here while we're on vacation, and we've been putting
Hmm.
away. We put money towards it every month, right? So like, it makes it almost stress free because you check the account and like, okay, this is about what we working with. So, wow, last night we had a really nice dinner at this really nice steakhouse. Man, I was like, man, this is dope. Saw the check and I was like, man, it's kind of expensive, but I was like, oh, we got this money. You know what I mean? There's no issues. You know what I mean? And that's not a
It's already
flex,
there, yo.
more so like it's being proactive instead of reactive. You know what I mean? For months,
That's
months and
it,
months,
man.
we put money away to go enjoy ourselves for when we go on vacation. So yeah,
Exactly. I mean, and that's why we do this, right? To share this with the people, to put them on to game, man. And I wish I had learned that when I was getting out of high school, right? I mean, because we would be even further than where we are if we had that mentor when we were young, telling us and guiding us about money. I mean, my people didn't have money like that. So, you kind of had to learn it on your own. And, we all we knew was get a job. Go get you a job and work for someone. And, hopefully you can retire and get that certificate after 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is good, man. This is good stuff.
100%, bro. So yeah, that's all I got to add on the budgeting piece, man. Jumping into topic number 4, leveraging your money to scale faster. So I'll let you jump into this before the way that I look at leverage, man, and the way I encourage folks to look at leverage is utilizing resources, whether it be money, your money, somebody else's money, the bank's money, using resources, period, right, beyond your own to grow. 'Cause you can't do it all by yourself. You can't. So in real estate, leverage is most often about using like what we call other people's money, or OPM, or OPR,
OPM.
sorry, or other people's resources. So you got to understand, right? There's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt, like you
Right,
said,
right,
Robert Kiyosaki going out and getting $1 billion, $1 billion in debt, but it generates cash flow every month. Bad debt, going out, I'm gonna go out and buy me a new car because I got a raise at my job and I want a fast car and I want people to see me in my nice car, even though everybody has an idea what my job is and what I kind of make, and then I really can't afford the car. As soon as I drive it off the lot, it makes me feel good, but I'm paying $1,000 a
right,
month for it. You know what I mean?
right.
An idea of I would say is bad debt, but flipping it back to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, leveraging. I mean, first off, we got to understand what leverage is, right? And being able to use something smaller to achieve something major, right? So, I mean, what I'm learning on the commercial side is being able to leverage other people's money to buy commercial real estate, right? I mean, it's 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 a level of scale that goes beyond just single family homes, right? There's nothing wrong with single family homes, but if you're trying to generate 20, 30, 50,000 a month, it's going to take you a lot of single family homes to do that with, right? I mean
Yeah,
i mean i mean we both been doing single family forever, but at the end of the day, now it's about cash flow. It's about increasing my net worth. It's about lowering my tax liability and scaling, right? So if you want to scale, you're going to have to use other people's money to get there. Because I mean, I'm looking at a deal right now here in Charlotte, and it's 92 unit hotel. And at the end of the day, man, like, we have to use other people's. And the thing about it is, we got the seller on board with us now. So we're going to give the seller financing, and we just got to come up with $3 million, right? I don't have $3 million laying around to just give away. So we have to be able to go out and use other people's money to be able to take it down and to get that cash flow from it. Because I mean, we want cash flow. We want to lower our tax liability, and we want to increase our net worth all at one time.
Amen.
right? So like at the end of the day, we're finding investors to go into this building with us so we can scale together. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times busy people don't have time to go out here and find deals. You're thinking about a doctor, I mean, they're working 50, 60 hours a week. They ain't got time to go out here and find a building or a hotel or commercial real estate to buy so they can lower their tax liability. They don't have time for that. So that's where I come in and I bring that to them, right? And, get them on board with us. So at the end of the day, you got to be able to leverage other people's money and be able to do the right thing with it. It's just about, bring the deal to them and growing. We're all growing together. You know what I mean? Because if you can articulate that in a good way, I mean, there's people out here raising billions of dollars, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, even Robert Kiyosaki, right? I mean, he's even, I watched a lot of his stuff, man. I mean, he's even raising capital when he first started, right? So like, it's about, if you want to be wealthy, leverage other people's money and not just your own. Because if you're leveraging just your own money, more than likely you're not going to grow as much as you really could using other people's.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I think you hit it nail right on the head too. And I think one of the things you're alluding to there that's important to note is with leverage, right? It's important to have. There's a lot of key partnerships that are involved with some of these business. A lot of these folks aren't just going out there and doing it on their own, right? Like a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
folks think about everybody has a role to play. So I know, as far as team goes, you have somebody, and you could probably talk more to this, but folks who are bringing in big money to do big projects such as commercial things like that, they have people on their team, whether it's somebody in acquisitions, the person who's negotiating with the seller, whether it's the person who is out there raising the money for the team, or somebody who has money utilizing their leveraging their credit or leveraging the assets that they already have to get loans and pull out loans and things like that for the team. People who are the folk who's in charge of talking to the contractors, getting things approved with the city, things like that. They're leveraging their time. So like leverage isn't just a monetary thing. You can leverage your time and your skills, not just money.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, because the bottom line is time is our most valuable asset, right? We're not going to get more time back. We're not going to get none of that. So we want to be able to do the things that's going to help free up our time so we can do the things that we want to do, right? Whether that's spend time with your family, whether that's go travel, whether that's, whatever it is, you want your time back. So if I have to pay someone to cut my grass, or if I have to pay someone to come cook for me, what that's doing is that's saving me time, right? And I don't have to do it. So that's what we want. We want to be able to leverage ourselves to the point where we get our time back. And so, understanding leverage is so good, because I didn't understand that, man. I didn't understand leverage and cash flow when I was younger. I didn't get it. I mean, I didn't know they were actual financial terms, to be honest with you, till
Yeah,
later in life. But now that I know, it's like a light bulb moment, and I can't go back now, right? I can't go back. Once you learn this, man, it's like why wasn't I thinking like this all before, all along? But if you don't learn, you just don't know. And
yeah.
so that's how people get locked out. It's just they don't know, don't show. I don't know what's going on in the hood, yo. Like Ice Cube said in Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks. Hey, bro, what you said there is so true. Like, especially about the timepiece, man, is like, this is a start from years ago. I stopped, like, now I live on a military base, so they cut my grass, for me. But years ago, we lived, off the military base, had our own house in Kansas and whatnot. And I remember I was out there like week to week cutting my grass, bro. And I'd be doing the front and the back, the weed eating. It take me like 2 hours total. I'm like, man, this sucks. And I was like, I'm supposed to be on the phones, or so we should be talking to these sellers, yada yada yada, bro. So I was like, I'm gonna pay somebody to do it. I think it was like $60 or whatever it was. And I remember out there cutting the grass. I'm on the phone, literally locking up deals while somebody's cutting out the grass. So we're talking about opportunity costs. Paying
Right,
paying somebody $60 to cut my grass while I'm on the phone doing deals that are a lot more than that. What I'm saying? It just doesn't, make sense, man. And I think that like sometimes it frustrates me that a lot of the things that we're taught, because a lot of times it's like, well, you need to go out there and be a man, go cut the grass and do yada yada yada. It's like,
I
yo,
used to do that.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I thought too. And I was like, but you talk about being a man. A man is you providing for your family. And I don't have to
Right,
provide to be out there cutting my grass. It could be from a financial standpoint. It could be creating a better
right,
life. It could be
right.
creating better education for my son, giving him better opportunities. It could be a whole bunch of slew of different things, man. So again, it's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. It is a mindset shift. And once that bulb goes off in your head, you'll start to look at everything a little bit differently. You'll start to
Man,
look at
yeah.
everything.
I mean, you think about that 2 hours that you spent making those calls versus cutting the grass. I mean, yeah, you paid $60 for them to cut the grass, but you tripled that on the phone, right? Making
Bro.
calls and
More than
finding a
true.
deal.
More than, yeah, like
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
like it
Huh?
makes way more sense for us to, leverage that and understand how, our time is important. It's time is money, right? I mean, well, I ain't gonna say time is money because, a lot of people say that, but at the end of the day, we want our time back to the point where, I could be doing better productive things versus going out here cutting the grass for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with cutting your own grass, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if I can be leveraging that time to grow my business or to find another deal or talk to a seller, that's more important than cutting that grass. So like, folks don't seem to understand that, but I mean, for the folks who do, it'll take you a long way.
Amen. Amen, bro. And hey, that's about it for number 4, man. So jumping into number 5, improving your financial information.
Mm,
This is what I'm
mm,
talking
mm, mm.
about financial literacy, man. Being proactive about learning. It is so important. I think you can attest to it too, bro. I've spent a lot of money on learning, whether it be learning skills as far as like paying for courses, whether it be going to conferences, what have you. Spent a lot of money on learning, a lot of money. And I tell you what, those lessons that I've applied have created so much more money because, again, I think as people, the your most important asset and your most priceless asset that you can never put a monetary value on is your brain. Is the asset right between your ears.
Hmm. Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we gotta be very vigilant and we gotta be focused on that, right? Because we go to school and they teach us about math and science and you know all kind of other stuff, but they don't never teach us about money, right? And we need money to live and to have choices with. So like you have to be able to you have to be able to learn about finances and increasing your financial IQ. Um, that's why I mean, like I said, I was never a big reader, right? But one book that opened my eyes was the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, right? I
yep.
think I read that in like 2001, and after that, I just wanted to learn more about money. And so, the books I read now, I mean, everything is based around money and understanding how I can leverage and how I can scale and how I can grow me and my family and leave a legacy, right? And if you don't learn that, I mean, all you're going to be doing, I see myself as a generalist, right? You look at someone that's a specialist, like a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist or something like that. All they know is how to be a dentist, a lawyer, or a doctor. That's all they know, right? They don't know much of nothing else. All they know is how to be that. They're specialists, right? That's what they are. They're specialists. But for us, we're generalists. We know a little bit about a lot. And see, that pushes us further along versus someone that's a specialist, right? Because, the specialists are the ones that were A and B students, straight A students. But the people who are running the companies are C and D students. So you got to understand, like, hey, it's not about, I guess your being self-taught will make you a fortune, right? But school, being school taught is just going to make you a living. So you got to be able to recognize that self-taught is a good thing. So, learning on your own, learning things that, are outside your job. I mean, you want to do that, right? But, for those people out there, and I'm not knocking doctors or lawyers or engineers or anything like that, but they work hard, right? And they work a lot of hours a week. But if you talk to them, all they know is that specialized industry that they're in. They don't know too much of nothing else, right? And so that's why I pride myself on being a generalist because I know a little bit about a lot, and it's paying off, right? So like I, I just and even if you look at our industry and look at corporate America, I mean the people who own the companies, man, they weren't straight A students, man. They were C and D students. The people who actually own the company, you know what I mean? They hire A and B students. And so I don't want to have to, work for someone my whole life. I want to own my own and do the things that I want to do, and not
Yeah.
base it off of, having a job my whole life and retiring with that certificate.
Yeah. Paper. They don't even make it like card stock. It's just paper printed right 5 minutes before a presentation.
That's it, man. They don't even give you a gold watch anymore. They just give you that certificate and thank you for your service, yo. Like
Slap you on the back, say, good job, Kev. All right, get out.
for 40 years, yo.
Straight up, man.
That's
Yeah, no,
crazy.
I think, man, like a lot of, especially with the learning piece, man, like it boils down to your inputs. Like you don't have to go spend a whole bunch of money on courses. YouTube is free. You can go to the local library. Books are free. Finding a mentor is free. Trying and failing, trial and error, trying and going out there and learning lessons, that's free. So it's really about your like. I just think it's your inputs. Like, what are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you surrounding yourself with? And what are you constantly putting into your mind? Like, are you listening to books? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you educating and trying to learn about the things that are things that are of interest to you that you think can generate income in the future? Or are you out there just on here watching playing 2K, playing Call of Duty, and not
just scrolling with it. Just scrolling. They just scrolling, yeah.
Wrong with it, but like, bro, like again, it's nothing's wrong with it, man. But like, I know people who are my age, and all they do in their free time is play video games. And I'm like, yo, that's cool if that's what you want to do. And like, some of them have really good jobs, right? So like, everybody needs their peace and things like that. But it's like, bro, do you want more in life, man? Like, at least for me, man, like I don't like I want to live so abundantly. If you open up your Bible, God talks about you living abundantly, living a life like that he has destined for you. You just got to go get it, right? Because the way to, at least for me, like the way I want to live my life is like I want to have more so that way I can give more. Because with where I'm at, of course, I can do a lot of giving, I can do a lot of teaching and things like that. But at the scale that I want to give, I want to affect millions and millions of people. I want to affect millions and millions. Right? You know what I mean? So like me with what I'm doing right now is like I'm not there yet. So I want to work really hard, sacrifice a couple things and whatnot, but I want to live abundantly so that way I can give abundantly to people without any type of censorship,
Yeah, man. You serving the kingdom, yo. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Right? Being able to, bring the next man up, pull the next man up, and help them change the trajectory of their life. So, God didn't put us here to be poor, man. I don't know why people think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, God had rich people around him when he was, on this earth. You know what I mean? So you gotta know that. You gotta know, like, hey, he wants us to live abundantly. So we can be able to serve the kingdom and serve the community. You know what I mean? So you just gotta know, man. Learn about money. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not, people say, well, it's the root of all evil. It's not the money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money. You know what I mean? So we got to know that, and we got to keep being the best versions of ourselves and chasing this thing, man, because God wants us to be, he wants us to be the best versions of ourselves.
Amen, brother. Yeah, on that note, I ain't got nothing else to add, brother. You got anything or you good to go?
I'm good, man. I mean, this was good, bro. I enjoy these times.
I definitely do, man. One of the better parts of the month for sure. Get to come on here and just speak the mind, bro. So shout out to free speech, but nah, man, on a serious note, this great episode. KD, always appreciate your insights. Hope y'all appreciate my insights as well, man. If y'all have any questions, truly mean it, reach out, ask, reach out to us, hit us up. No such thing as a bad question. I promise you got to start somewhere. So if anybody needs any assistance, need help, and just wants to talk or bounce ideas, just hit us up, man. But outside of that, this was episode 26, the Assets Over Money podcast. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.
Later, man. Be good.
Yep.